Hey, it's Jemmy here from Flintstone Media with the 7th episode of the Curve the Cube podcast. Curve the Cube is a South Florida-based arts and media entertainment podcast aimed at inspiring you to pursue your passions, live your dreams, and exist outside of your cubicle. And in this episode, we feature Garett Hagan, who is the general manager of Dirty Martini in Palm Beach Gardens. And I really love this podcast because not only does he talk about like what it's like to run a bar, open a bar, and all that type of stuff. And whoa, one story of what this one dude did at his bar. You just wait and hear it. It'd be crazy. But another reason I love this podcast so much is it's a quintessential look into how important it is to just really work hard to get to your goals. He literally started as a dishwasher, and now he's the GM of Dirty Martini. It's really an impressive story. And yeah, he's a lot of fun. He really had some good times and good stories to share. So enjoy this episode number 7 of Curve the Cube, brought to you by Flintstone Media. Enjoy! Curve the Cube will now initiate. Hi! So, oh, I'm recording, by the way.
Already?
Is that okay?
Awesome, yeah,
okay.
Of course.
I think I will take you up on that offer.
You got it, no problem.
What's your favorite drink to make?
My favorite drink to make is going to be the drink that somebody likes. Honestly.
Okay, so if you're making, what's your favorite drink then for yourself?
I'm pretty easy.
Yeah.
I'm usually just Grand Marnier neat. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Simple. I like tasting lots of different things though.
Do you?
Yeah.
In one drink or over the course of the night?
No. Well, no. If I go someplace and there's a bartender I know and he's like, oh, I got this new idea of a drink. Hey, can you try it out and see what you think? That's what I like doing. It's almost like, I joke, how there's wine sommeliers?
Right.
Well, I joke about being a spirit sommelier.
Spirit one.
So you can go, I get to have a taste of this in it, or I can see it, I can see that flavor coming through, or,
Did you ever drink, well, let's go to the,
absolutely.
I don't want to keep you from I want to keep you from making my drink. What, has there ever been a new liquor that you were asked to try, and either you didn't want to, and then were surprised how good it was, or like what has taken you by surprise? I realize you have to be a little careful. Maybe I can't.
No. That's absolutely a great question. To be honest with you, this is pretty much the only business I've ever been in. So I've seen a million things come and go.
Yeah.
I've seen Zima, the clear beer.
I remember Zima.
Right? I've seen the start of Jägermeister.
Right.
The start of Tito's, all these crazy things.
Yeah, Tito's is kind of blown up in the last year or so, right?
Huge.
Is it new? Is it that new, or is it really just taken off?
No, it's been on the market for quite a while, about 8 years now.
Okay.
It was supposed to be America's first craft vodka.
Gotcha.
The whole craft beer phase came around, and this guy in Texas named Tito
right.
thought it'd be a good idea.
I've heard his last name is actually Beverage.
I don't know that actually.
That would be funny.
That would be very funny. If not, he might have changed his name to Beverage. So, you always see a lot of things. You see a lot of things make it, a lot of things don't.
Right. I'm sure. Yeah, so what are you going to make me?
Well, we don't have any ice. So anything you have to have is going to be neat or warm or right out of the bottle. That's how it's called, neat. So, are you more of a tequila person? Or are you more of a...
I'm more of a rum person.
Okay.
Is that going to work? With no ice?
Well, you can drink anything. It's just going to taste good or not.
That's true, right?
Have you ever had Grand Marnier?
I don't know if I have.
Ooh.
I certainly haven't ever had it prepared by you.
Okay. Well, this is obviously not an ad for Grand Marnier. Let's keep that in mind.
And he's throwing the glasses around very professionally. Very impressive.
I was a trading circus monkey in my past life.
Were you?
Yes.
Did they make you wear the funny jacket?
Yes.
Nice.
It's kind of weird.
Oh, I wish I had pictures of that.
This is one of the spirits that you can drink warm, chilled. Yeah. You can mix in a bunch of stuff. If you've ever had a top shelf margarita or a Cadillac margarita, this is what they put on the top of it.
Okay, so I have had it, just never straight. Because I love my margaritas.
Yes.
Yum.
It's an orange cognac. So it's going to have a little bit of a bite, but should have a lot of good flavors in it.
Toast?
Cheers.
Cheers to a good podcast. Was I supposed to shoot the whole thing?
It's up to you. No, you're not supposed to. But maybe you are supposed to. That's the great thing about drinks is it's how you like things.
Yeah.
You know, I went out to a friend's bar last night. I was sitting there talking to this old guy.
Yeah.
He orders, hey, can I have your best bottle of Chianti? Bartender goes, our best bottle or our most expensive?
Right.
They're not necessarily the same thing.
Right,
it's what
right.
you like
That's
what makes
true.
it a good product.
Right.
So
Absolutely. I agree. 100%. So how long have you been in the business? I think I read somewhere you started working in restaurants at like age 12.
Well, 13 really. Yeah.
What the heck were you doing? Like, were you bar backing? Were you
no, actually, I was
cleaning
washing
up?
dishes.
What are you doing?
Literally, I was
Okay.
dishwasher.
I was trying to imagine what
Yeah.
a 13-year-old would do in a restaurant.
Yeah,
But okay,
I wash dishes.
dishwashing. Okay.
Interesting, because I guess they could hide me back there.
I
Nobody
guess
would notice.
so. I guess so. That's so funny. And where was this?
It was actually in Fort Lauderdale at a place called Wings Plus.
Wings Plus.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and my mom always joked with me. She goes, "I don't know how you ever made it in the restaurant business. You hated other people's food."
Really?
We used to call it OPF, other people's food. I didn't want to touch it.
Really?
She's like, "And your first job was a dishwasher."
Well, maybe that worked to your favor because you weren't distracted by tasting everything. You just did your job.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I used to be a server.
Uh-huh.
I was terrible. I worked in 6 different. I'm not even kidding. I worked in 6 different restaurants. Let's see, Applebee's. I've worked in an Outback. Clematis Social. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember it, of course.
Let's see, Applebee's, Outback, Clematis Social, Cheeseburger. It used to be in
Nice.
Del Rey.
Yeah.
And a couple more, I don't even remember, but I was never, Lucille's Baptismal Barbecue. I know there's one more. But yeah, I was never very, very good at it because I got way too distracted by all the food.
Right? I think everybody should be in the restaurant or service industry at least once. To figure out if it's
Absolutely. It's so like, it's such a crazy dynamic to work. It's working in hospitality is unlike anything else. Like, I've worked in retail too, and that probably comes the closest, thank you. But yeah, working hospitality is completely, what did you like about it?
I guess the fast pace, emotion, getting to talk to people, getting to try to make them happy.
Right.
You know,
how did being a dishwasher transform into being, because I read you started your career as like a competitive bartender. How does that happen?
It really started, you know, obviously I was a dishwasher, and then from there I became a little busboy, and then from there I was like, well, it looks like the cooks have fun, so I started learning how to prep, and then I was doing prep in the kitchen. I was watching the guy on deep fry, and one day the guy who was deep frying all the deep fried items hurt himself, and it was a Friday night. I remember the owner had to actually go back there and start
take
cooking.
over.
And I said, hey, let me do it. And he goes, you really think you can do it? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you've never done it before. I'm like,
and how old are you?
But I've been watching. I don't know, maybe by this time, maybe 15.
Wow.
16. So from there, I just went on to deep fry, and then from there to grill. And the whole time, I noticed I'm sitting in the kitchen, excuse my language, but sweating.
You can say whatever you want.
off.
Seriously. Open forum podcast. Go ahead.
Sweating to death, looking out at the bartenders having fun and the servers having fun, talking to guests, looking pretty and handsome, and here I am sweating, wearing a hat, you know, deep frying food.
That tall white hat.
Yeah, exactly. So I decided I want to be on that side. So I started serving, and then got into bartending because it was obviously, you know, like everybody else, more money, more fun. It always looks like more fun behind the bar. So I had to start bar backing and then bartending. And then as bartending, it just kind of became a natural progression where this was a long time ago, of course.
Yeah.
You know, probably 15 to 16 years ago. You know, the whole movie Cocktail came out. Right.
So it became alluring and interesting and exciting.
Right. It was flipping stuff. It was making drinks with flair and pizzazz.
Yeah.
It was kind of neat. So then all these competitions started popping up all around the United States. And there was you could literally go to probably 2 major competitions a month. And it was great.
No kidding.
Yeah, there was people that would literally just travel and flip bottles. And
here's my question, because I think about this when I think about anyone who's doing something that could go wrong very quickly, like, you know, the sword tosser or, I don't know, tightrope walker. I think about, okay, so how did you practice that first time? Have you broken a lot of bottles?
Oh my God. gosh.
How did you learn?
You know what? And this is going to sound really funny, but originally there was all these rules to flare. It sounds really funny, but there was, okay, never flare when you're drunk. Never flare with wet bottles. Never, it's all these stupid little rules. And I kind of decided to throw all that out the window.
Oh boy. It kind of sounds like those stupid little rules might be common sense, or you just decided to...
Yes, but I noticed that it would start messing people up.
Oh, because they're worrying about it too much?
Well, no, but these people started getting really crazy to where they would walk in before a competition and they would spray their bottles down with Windex. And they'd be really super smooth and really sticky, so when they caught them, they wouldn't slip.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, their bottle would get wet because there was a drop of alcohol landed on it. Next thing you know, they're dropping everything. So I was like, well...
Because they weren't used to it at all.
Right.
They had no...
So we would practice in the backyard, and we'd actually have a bucket of water, and we'd dunk our bottles in the water. We'd make them wet. Because if you can catch it wet, you can catch it dry.
Right.
So that actually gives a little bit of edge.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm already seeing a pattern here. Sounds like you work really hard. Not afraid of hard work and figuring out how to get from one thing to another.
Right. And I think that's what we do.
Yeah.
In life.
Yeah.
I mean, look at yourself. You're jumping into the podcast world.
Thank you.
Literally, you're probably the hardest working, PR marketing person I've seen.
You're thank you
here
so
at every
much.
event. You keep touch base with texting and calling, and a lot of people think it just gets handed to them, and it doesn't.
Yeah, you're right, and I think I'm building as I do more of these podcasts because I get to talk to all these other new people and really pick their brains like yourself, and I'm really learning that that's true among anybody who really wants to make it happen. That's the common theme between everybody that I've talked to, is that you got to really work for it.
Right.
It's not just handed to you. You got to work for it. And I think, even if I were to interview someone who it seems like everything was handed to them, there was probably a period beforehand where they were really working hard. And maybe that switch just flipped really quick, but there was probably a lot of,
I definitely agree.
hard work behind it at some point. So thank you so much for talking today.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
So how did you decide to open up your own venue?
Well, obviously from bartending for years, everybody always comes up, hey, you want to, next progression is becoming a manager, and then you strive to be the general manager, and then you strive to be the partner, and same thing. So just throughout life, always striving, and a few years ago, Cleve came to me and said, hey, I want to do a martini bar in Palm Beach Gardens. You are the guy. I was with Blue Martini for a very long time and helped a lot of their concepts.
Were you at a specific location with Blue?
No, actually I did West Palm Beach.
Okay.
I did Fort Lauderdale. Okay. I did Boca Raton.
I applied for Blue one time, a long time ago, to be a server, and I never heard back. I don't blame them.
After hearing your resume.
That's when I went and worked at Clematis Social. I don't blame it at all.
It's not.
I really wasn't good.
It's not easy, man.
What always tripped me up. I was a good server as far as multitasking, going from. What always tripped me up literally was, ironically enough, the liquor. Because someone would order something, I'd be like, I don't know what garnishments. I don't know. Where in the menu am I supposed to find this drink to send it to the bar? I was a disaster. So anyway.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, there's all these master chefs out there that know every intricacy about food.
Right.
But alcohol is just as
foreign. It's so amazing. There's so many different types of liquor, and how do you learn all that stuff? Because you've clearly learned it.
To be honest with you, I don't think I'll ever learn it all.
Yeah.
I gave a great example to a friend. I had to do a label search for something because I'm actually producing my own alcohol.
I know. You told me. I'm very excited to talk to you about that.
Story. We'll talk about that later. But and we're doing a label search. And when I searched labels, there was 2 million labels on this one thing. And I sat back and go, wow, there's 2 million labels out there.
Isn't it amazing how much goes into choosing something so simple?
Right. And you think about it, there's vodka, rum, gin, but there's 40,000 different vodkas. There's
unbelievable.
Yeah, so it's a lot bigger, I think, than people give it credit for.
Right. It's a craft. It really is a craft.
Right. And
both the creating of the liquors and the drink.
Oh, yeah. And as you see with food, you've seen that upswing and downswing where all of a sudden there's all these celebrity chefs and there's people see you can do a lot of stuff with food, but there was also a slump where people were going to McDonald's every day and there was no creativity.
Right.
So that happened with bartending where there was a huge, push. Because it had slumped out where people knew 2 drinks, rum and coke and vodka tonic.
Do you think it's ever is it ever frustrating that people don't maybe understand the price points that are involved simply because there's so much involved in creating a really good drink as opposed to just your random, hole-in-the-wall bar drink? Is that ever a frustration that you run into? People just don't get why it's...
Well, the best example is somebody goes, why do you charge $8 for a drink when I can go buy that bottle for $20 in the store?
Right.
But they don't ever say, why is that hamburger $9 a cheeseburger?
Right.
Buy a pound of ground
that
beef
amount, or even that quarter pound by the time they get to the one burger is like pennies.
Yeah, for some reason people don't associate that. But
you're right.
I would say there's not only the creation of the drink, but everything else has to go into that. The labor, the lights, the electricity, the
ambiance,
food, the juices. I mean, all that costs money and all has a lifespan, just like food.
Right.
So.
Right.
It's interesting.
That's awesome. So what do you see on the horizon for you? I know you're going into your own venture, which I'm dying to ask you about. But do you see yourself continuing to be working in the bar scene, in the nightlife scene?
I think that's what makes what I'm doing kind of different and interesting. Is being in this business, I've been on both sides of the bar.
Yeah.
As I like to call it, both sides of the bar.
Yeah.
So with the alcohol that I'm getting ready to launch, it's not so much as I'm just going to walk in and sell it to bars and walk away. Which you could do, which a lot of people do. I mean, you don't see people out there doing half the stuff that I'm hoping to do.
Right.
I'd like to come in and train the staff on the product. At night, come in and give it to the guests and talk to the guest about it. So it's more than just yes, I'll always still be in the nightlife. But will I be walking in, turning on the lights anymore? Right. Probably not.
Right. Gotcha. So tell me about this new venture, because the podcast listeners are probably like, all right. What are you talking about?
Well, to be honest with you, it actually goes further back. I've always made my own, well, not always, but I started making my own wine years ago. I grew up in Fort Lauderdale. I used to surf all the time. I loved sea grapes. Somebody taught me I can make sea grape jelly. And I'm like, well, if I can make sea grape jelly, I can make sea grape juice, and if I make the juice, I can make a wine. So I started making wine. Not good wine, but wine all the same. And then, I started venturing out making alcohol, which is, for fun, not for selling or anything like that. Because there might be some weird laws out there.
I was thinking about, I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, the stuff that's like the seriously hardcore. Moonshine, thank you. Well, I've never had that ever.
Well, see, you're allowed, which is weird, you're allowed to make alcohol for gasoline to run a generator with a special
jet
$5
turbine.
license. Yeah, who knows? So,
that's funny.
I wasn't trying to make alcohol, I was trying to make gas that just tasted good. And,
bonus, that's all it is a bonus.
Right, and needless to say, I always got creative, and the wife really would drink some of it and wouldn't drink some of it, because some of it was good, some of it was horrible.
Right.
Else. And about 4 years ago, I came up with this idea, and I made something that I thought was pretty decent.
Yeah.
And I gave it to 2 of my friends that they were over for Christmas or something, and it was the 4 of us, my wife, myself, and our 2 friends, and I made it, I let them try it. I said, oh my gosh, this is really good. They said, what is it? And I kind of told them what it was. Wow, it's an amazing idea. I said, you should really run with this. And like every great man, you have to have a great woman behind you. So without the wife's permission to pursue something like that, I couldn't pursue it.
Right.
I mean, literally, if it wasn't for her going, yeah, go ahead and run with it, it would have been a little back project that I just kept doing.
In your whatever you're doing it.
Right.
Basement, whatever. Basements of Florida, what are we talking about?
Right. Well, in the attics.
So
it's funny because I have alcohol over the house. Are you an alcoholic? Maybe.
But I don't know. What does this mean?
But
what does this say about me?
So I actually think that I perfected this recipe, and I'll never forget the day. It was about 10:30 at night, and it's finally done. The batch is done. Everything's perfect. And I remember walking to the bathroom, wife's in the shower, Another story to be continued.
Yeah, baby.
And I go, honey, you have to try this. She goes, I just got out of the shower. It's 10:30 at night. I'm not gonna have a shot. I'm like, you have to try this. I really feel like I worked on this. It's perfect.
Right.
She grabs the glass. She goes, oh my God, it's warm. I'm like, I know. You just try it.
Try it.
So she tried it.
You were really feeling like a craftsman.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
And needless to say, she drank it. She goes, oh my gosh, this is really good. And since then, I've kind of kept working on it. And we've actually gone through all of our ATF, all of our, every initial you can imagine, ATF, FDA, TTB, all these approvals.
Wow.
And we finally got it approved. And we're actually in one of our last stages now, just waiting for the label to be approved.
Yeah.
And it's actually going quite well.
The label has to be approved by whom?
Actually, the government has to approve everything.
Oh, make sure you have like all the right stats or whatever that
Correct.
you need to, alcohol content, etc.
Yes, and to make sure you don't say certain things. And
Right. My dad was in the water business for a long time, so I do remember all those intricacies.
Oh, it's. I'll give you a good example of one of the funny government things. So, on my label, and I'll actually tell you what it is. But on my label, there's a little slogan that not a little slogan, but it's like a story. Everything has a story to it.
Yeah.
So
the little background.
Ours starts out as Pixies prefer, this product, chilled in a martini as a shot, blah blah blah. And it's funny because the government sent back and they said something along the lines of, how can you prove that? How can you prove that? And I'm like, well, Pixies prefer it. They go, we need you to prove that. I go, how? It's an imaginary creature. So of course we had to hire a lawyer to tell us you can't use the word prefer. You can use the word like.
No way. So you can say Pixies like, because that doesn't require proof, but Pixies prefer requires proof.
Right, because it prefers something over something else.
You know what I think that here, okay, this is me going to my legal mind. I get the differential, even though it's stupid. I get the differential because you can say that Pixies like something because you're like, there's a shot, if Pixies were a real thing, that 1 in 10,000 or 1 million of them, there's got to be one that likes it. But to say it prefers is to assume that it's like a majority opinion.
Right.
That's the legal, that it's stupid.
Yeah, it was interesting. But that's really part of the labeling process. And, talking about being an entrepreneur, it's how stuff beats you down.
Right. All the red tape, all the no's.
It took 2 months to tell me that. 2 months. I got to prove a Pixie prefers.
And was that the last thing on your mind that you ever expected to hear back, or did you go into it thinking maybe that'll raise some sort of random?
I don't know. I thought I had outsmarted them because, to be honest with you, these permits have been so unbelievable to get them through. Like, I see why a lot of people give up over time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it not just them, but everything will just hold you back and hold you back, and you finally start losing track of what you're doing because you're so busy fighting over one little thing.
Right.
And I actually felt that in my heart a few times going, I don't even know if I want to do this.
Right.
And ultimately I did, but we thought we had won because instead of submitting one label, I submitted 3 labels all a day apart.
Just so that one of them's got to give.
And maybe somebody else would look at it. And,
a different agent, right?
Yeah, see? Yeah, it didn't work.
Didn't work? Oh, man.
But just keep going. You just have to keep going after it.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah. So let's backtrack just a little bit. What goes into opening a bar?
A lot. A lot of people think you just open the doors and people come in and see you. I can tell you that I spend typically, even once an establishment is built, you'll still spend about 4 months getting it ready to open.
Wow, that long, huh?
Right. Well, you have to get the procedures in place. Where the server's going to pick up drinks. Where are they going to deliver the food?
Right.
What are the table numbers? How do they know which way to go? What's the menu? You might like the menu. I might like the menu. But when we sample it out to people, they hate it.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you and I like.
Right.
It matters what masses like. That's what you're going after.
Well, you want to sell something.
Yeah, exactly. Which is it's one of those things. It's
right. You can believe in something till the cows come home, but unless you can have someone on the other side to sell it to.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if they like this market, then that's what it is. I'll give you a good example. There was a concept called Smoky Bones. It was a Darden concept, which is Red Lobster, Olive Garden.
Right, I know Smoky. Right.
Right. Okay.
I used to get gift cards from Darden from my old company.
Right.
Yeah, every year. Yeah.
And I mean, Darden's still a great company.
Yeah.
They just bought Yard Houses. Before Yard House, they bought Capital Grill. They own Seasons 52.
Right.
So they've done a lot of great things. And they opened this concept called Smoky Bones. And I was with Darden when they opened the first one.
Supposed to like rival Lucille's, I think, right?
Well, yeah, but what they didn't realize was, okay, Olive Garden. Well, it's not even use Olive Garden, an easier one. Red Lobster. If I serve shrimp on rice in Miami, it's the same as it would be in Tennessee. It's the same as it would be in Texas, the same as it would be in Maine.
Right.
There's no variation of it.
Right.
But if I serve barbecue in Texas, it's a whole heck of a lot different than barbecue in Miami.
That is very true, down to the sauce, down to how you cook. I mean, everything. The spices used, that's so true.
And those are things you have to think about where you're at.
Did it go to the point where even the same, like, bit of lingo would mean two different things?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
But dry rub meant dry rub, but something like that where it would mean two different things.
Exactly.
Wow.
A perfect example. There was a drink a long time ago, and there still is one today that has Chambord, vodka, and soda water, and you stick a straw in it and you drink it down. It was called a zipper head. Okay, well...
Without shaking, it's just...
Without shaking it. It's a
right.
giant shot. You stick a straw in it and you sip it out.
Yeah.
What it's called. Well, unfortunately, I went up to New York area, and it turns out that zipper head is a derogatory term for a certain race.
Oh, no!
So, here's somebody that was putting this item on the menu, and
no.
You see, so terms don't go very well. And major restaurant chains don't usually think that far out. You know?
Do you know I forget what the maker was, but there was a car a long time ago called the Nova. The model was called the Nova, and they tried to sell it in like Latin America, but Nova means doesn't go in Spanish. Like, why isn't it selling?
Right. Why isn't it selling? And that's the same thing with restaurants. You know?
That's so funny.
You can love filet mignon, but don't open a restaurant that only serves steak in a vegan town.
Right.
You know,
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Wow, so, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, you got to talk to contractors, there's got to be some planning. You had to prove that you could be successful. Like, that even takes planning just to get to that point where you're thinking, this is where I want to be, and
what I mean, to open a bar or any restaurant or any business, it takes years before you can actually sell your first hamburger or your first, slider or your first drink.
Right.
It goes into, you have to have the idea, and then you have to, get the designer and build the place exactly the way you want it. But then times change and things change as you're doing all this stuff. They say the average lifespan for a restaurant is about 10 to 15 years without major revamps.
Yeah.
A bar, think about most nightclubs. I mean, they revamp every year, every 2 years.
Oh my gosh. I have so many stories about the same venue, and I'm like, I don't know if it was called Radius or Club Boca or whatever it was called, but that's where it was.
Exactly. That's all that matters. You remember that. Club Boca. You actually remember that place?
Yeah. I partied down hard at that place for a good number of years.
Sunday nights.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh, yes. I have some amazing pictures from Purgatory. Oh, wow.
That's a long time ago.
What if you're in the background of any of them? That would be really hilarious.
I did have somebody send me a picture a while ago. They're like, oh my God, I found a picture.
No, I was taking a video. I took a video of my son and I at a concert. And when I was posted on YouTube, it was a video from like a year and a half ago. And my friend, who I've met in the last several months, he's like, oh, I'm in the background of that video. I'm like, oh my gosh,
that's crazy.
So random.
Well, that's the part of all this media now.
Right.
Think about it.
It's everywhere. So my question, I have two questions about opening a new place, a new venue. My first is, how did you decide to go, I guess I have three questions. How did you decide between just a straight bar and a bar that serves food?
I've always believed if you want a concept that's going to last a while,
Yeah.
you need to have food as well.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be strictly a nightclub, which, like I said, has a lifespan of 2 years before you have to change it.
Right.
You know, if you do a bar that has food and stuff like that, you'll get a good 10-year run out of it.
Right.
Because you're not really the restaurant, you're not a nightclub, you're kind of in between.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of things. Number one, I like the point of being able to serve food because you want people to eat.
Yeah.
You know, we want people to have a good time, but we want you to be able to walk.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You know, we joke we're not here to sell $5 flatbreads. We're here to sell $12 martinis.
Of course.
The $5 flatbreads obviously keep you here
So
longer.
ends to a mean.
Correct.
Or means to an end.
What do you call it? A loss leader.
There you go.
It literally is a loss leader.
Yeah.
Thinking, what can I do to make people stay longer,
Right.
but also let them be able to drink and not be able to be floored.
Right.
You know, so if you look at the fact we're able to open at 5 o'clock.
Right.
You know, if we
Does
were
that
just
only
a
happen?
nightclub, it would be 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Because nobody
So
wants to go to a
nightclubs
nightclub
can't
at
have
5
happy
o'clock.
hours. You have to be able to serve food to have that happy hour window.
I think it's more to get people in.
Okay.
I mean, our food sales are probably, during happy hour, 40% of our sales, 30% of our sales between there. After happy hour, there may be 10%.
Right.
Or less.
Right.
But we're able to open at 5, so we're able to generate revenue from 5 to 8.
Of course, rather than just having an empty property.
Exactly.
Right.
And get people in the room. That's what really a happy hour was for, was to get, in the old days, was get people into the room.
Yeah.
So that it was fuller when people showed up and people stayed longer because people tend to like where crowds are, where people are.
Oh, I lived in New Orleans. That's where I went to college.
Okay.
And I don't think we're finished with this, but I moonlighted working in bars and clubs. I worked for everything from promoter to working security. I was a security manager for a club called Ampersand, which was opened by Billy Blatty, the son of William Blatty, the writer of The Exorcist. Anyways, side note. And but the best job I ever had was I was quote unquote the dance manager, and all it meant was at this club right on Bourbon Street was I got paid because from 9 to about midnight there wasn't really anyone coming in, and New Orleans is very late night kind of town. So I was paid to get like 10 to 12 of my friends from college out looking hot, guys and girls, to be on the dance floor, and they would get in for free, drink for free as long as from 9 to 12, and it just made it look like there were more people in there, which drew a crowd. Best job ever.
I was going to say, it's still actually a job. I mean, you won't find it up here, but you will find that on, you know, I don't see too much of it on Clemson Street, but in the bigger cities, in the Miamis, the Vegas and stuff like that.
Right.
People get paid to just bring people in and party and talk to people and hang out. And people don't know they're employed. Right. They just think, oh my God, there's 12 hot girls here.
Yeah. Woo.
But yeah, it's amazing. Yep. I wish they would have told me about that job when I was in school. They're like, wait, I could do that? Instead of cook and wash dishes? Wait a minute.
It was pretty fabulous.
Right? Exactly.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you decide to go take on the Dirty Martini label?
Well, Cleve actually had the idea.
And who is Cleve?
Cleve is the owner.
Okay.
Well, it all goes back to licensing, really, which sounds really funny, but there was no licenses in Palm Beach Gardens to have a straight bar. There was one license, which was grandfathered in. It was a snuggery down the street. And everybody goes, "Oh my gosh!" Well, it's still there. It's little. They only have to sell alcohol.
Okay.
The government regulates. You have to sell a certain amount of food, and there's all this other stuff. So everybody goes, "Oh, what about Club Safari?" Well, Club Safari was tied into the liquor license of the hotel, and because the hotel sold so much food, they didn't fall into a nightclub license. They were able to do it. So it all comes down to licensing. So, like I said, years ago, I got a call. You know,
that's actually a brilliant arrangement. Side note, between Safari and that hotel, that's a brilliant arrangement.
Yeah, amazing. You know, but that's how a lot of nightclubs and hotels work, because you get around that whole licensing thing.
That's brilliant.
So, you know, like I said, a friend called me years ago and said, "Hey, I'm trying to get this license in Palm Beach Gardens. If I get it, would you be interested?"
Yeah.
You know, because there, you know, you just, if you can't do something, why even talk about it?
Right.
And sure enough, he was able to get that license, and the license is called a 4COP license, which means We don't have to sell any food. We can sell all alcohol. Everybody else here in the entire area has to sell at least 51% food.
Oh.
You
So
know?
you're not tied down to having to sell food legally.
Correct.
You just do it because it helps enhance the drink
Correct.
sales overall.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's always better to have people, like you said,
Yeah.
eating and not just drinking.
Right.
You know?
Of course.
So,
Of course.
So that's basically, and once the licensing, I mean, you find out you can get one of the only licenses in town that can do that.
Right.
Well, then you really pursue it and you push forward.
Right.
So
how much fun has it been opening up Dirty Martini?
I love it. I've opened probably about 35 to 40 places in my life.
Wow.
I had a consulting business for years. I love that part of it. I love it. I love opening places. I love training people. I really love this business.
How do you know when you're opening someplace new? Because there's still so many variables involved and a lot of unknowns and things out of your control. How do you know when you've hit that sweet spot when you can say, okay, this is a success. This is successful.
I don't know. That's a good question. This might sound bad, but I have never in my life felt like anything was ever successful enough. I always felt like I could do better.
Yeah.
When is it successful? When you open the doors, everybody has a good time, people smile, there was no problems, the food went out great, the drinks went great, everybody goes home with money. That's when it's successful.
Yeah.
Is it more successful because you made twice as much money, or more successful because you made 3 times as much? Not really. I guess that's how you look at it.
Yeah, you've mentioned a couple times that it makes you happy to make other people happy. I think that's part of who you are.
Yeah, and I actually think I hold myself too responsible for that.
Yeah. But I think we all go through that.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a common thread at least most humanitarian human beings.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Some people are like,
some people really don't care.
Right, I agree.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever, well, I'm sure you've had to, opening 35 places, you've had to throw out your fair share of unruly people. What's anything really super crazy?
And I hate to beat a dead horse with Boca Raton, but I opened a place in Boca Raton, and I never believed all the stories that I'd heard about that place.
Yeah.
When I got there, I was actually talking to other restaurant people. I was talking to other even retail places. Saks Fifth Avenue, they had to take their entire management team on a, maybe I'm not supposed to say that, but when they first opened, they had to take their entire management team on an outing to understand how to deal with a Boca clientele. And you think, it's just normal people.
No, Boca's different. I grew up there. It's different.
And I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah.
And you can't.
It's a different animal.
Yeah, it's a feeling of entitlement. It's, I had people,
which makes me so glad I don't live there anymore.
Yeah, I've had people actually look at me and tell me I'm not worthy of speaking to them, which is interesting. You know?
Yeah.
But, unruly guests.
I could tell you stories. Yeah, I'm sure both. We could swap them all day.
Yeah, it's but unruly guests. I've only seen a few things that I've been like, really? But then when you see them in a town that you expect to be above normal.
Right.
And the story I hate to tell is it happened actually. I'm standing at the bar, the inside of the bar, talking to 2 or 3 girls on the outside of the bar, which would be the place where the guests sit. Right. And we're sitting there talking, and girl looks over, she's kind of looking to the side like this. She's kind of giving me a head nod, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And I got a head nod back. She's like, no.
Totally missing it.
Yeah, totally missing it. And I'm looking over at this guy, and the guy's just kind of standing there, and he's just looking around right and left.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. And all of a sudden, she leans over the bar and tells me that he just whipped his penis out and proceeded to pee on the floor.
No.
Kind of amazed.
No way.
Kind of amazed.
No way.
And it was, by the time we asked the fine gentleman to step outside, it didn't go very well, of course.
Oh my gosh.
And you're in shock. What do you do? How do you handle something
right,
like that?
Right.
Especially from a nice dressed person.
Was he now clothed, or was he still hanging out?
He was like, nothing happened. He just didn't feel like leaving for the restroom. He was a well-dressed person, and
my God,
convinced me that he would.
That now he's entitled to peeing on the bar.
Yeah, and that if I had him arrested, his lawyer would have him out in 30 minutes, and he would have his suit shut down. That was kind of the normal.
Oh, yeah. You know? Oh, yeah, that's the attitude right there.
But yeah, I've never thought I'd see that before. I mean, in a nicer place.
Right.
Granted, I've been to hole in the walls where, I've seen everything.
Of course.
A guy walking in the corner.
But you expect it.
Right, not standing next to two hot chicks in a pack.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, interesting. So that's kind of my crazy one that I just never thought I'd see in a nicer place.
Wow. That's a little bananas.
Yeah.
How much fun is it, because I know the Vanilla Ice Block Party tonight, and you guys are managing that.
Looking forward to that.
How much fun is that is this the only place that you've done those kind of big events, or have you done that before at other places?
No, one thing I learned years ago was if you don't treat celebrities and stars differently, 90% of them will enjoy themselves and come back and have more fun. Yeah. It's the guys.
They want to be treated like normal.
Right. And that's the problem. And so I started a while ago making a list of who the people I've met, and because I never thought it was a big deal.
Right, I'm the same way. Yeah.
And
I might have a mental breakdown though when I make Vanilla Ice though tonight. I really might.
Yeah.
He's on my short list of mental breakdown worthy. Go ahead.
He's actually one of the most normal.
That's what I've heard.
Celebrities I've
heard. Yeah. I think I've been mentally preparing it for so many days that I think I'll be fine. If we were to walk through that door right now, I would need a change of shorts. Like, I'm just being honest.
Well, yeah. I'll make sure you get to see him up close and personal. How does that sound?
That was awesome.
But I love these things. What I particularly like, which has happened recently, has been here with Dirty Martini and WRMF 97.9 Palm Beach Broadcasting. Beth, all those guys, they have been phenomenal because what they've really enabled us to do here at Dirty Martini is they've brought in these artists before they've become famous.
Right.
Which is great because, they get to get in front of the crowd and they haven't been on stage a million times.
Right.
And just
something a little more raw and natural about that.
Right. And just, I can tell you, I met Imagine Dragons a week before they became famous.
That's right.
I've met...
Kevin's one of those who has his ear to the ground when it comes to music, and he, I remember, was talking about them just before they came in here. Yeah.
I mean, to meet bands like that, A Great Big World, and 2 weeks later, they're performing with Christina Aguilera.
Crazy.
To hang out with these people when they were nobodies, and to see them before they become these people.
Yes.
Which is neat. So that's
awesome.
Been my favorite. One more quick one with that is,
go ahead.
I met an artist before he was really famous, Passenger, and he performed here, and we had such a good time. We hit it off, and he was just like, I just travel, I play music, I enjoy myself. And a couple months after he became really famous, my best friend was getting married in California. And me, him, his wife, and my wife all flew out there from getting married in a vineyard, just the four of us. And I come to find out he's performing, Pastor's performing at a venue out there.
No way.
So I call and I get us in there, and sure enough, there he is performing in front of all these people. And to be able to just walk up and be like, hey, how you doing? He's like, he's like, oh my God, what are you doing here?
Oh, he's
like,
so
we're doing shots.
To see you, and
that was neat to see somebody that's now famous and is out there to still be cool and remember the day when he wasn't cool. Right. So that's what I enjoy about this business too, is getting to meet those people. Yeah,
there are definitely some people on my list that I want to meet, and the celebrities I want to meet tend to be those that seem to have their head still on their shoulders, and really be a cool person. So that's awesome.
Well, that's the kind of person you are. You want to be a cool person. At least, that's what I see in you, and me too. I want to be the nice. I want to be helpful. I want to be. You get further in life being. You know what?
It's so true. Like, I've always kind of known that. That's just always been part of my personality. But things that have happened recently in my life with the campaign for KBJ and all this other stuff that's happened, it's like now it's on full display for everybody else to see. Like, when you do things for other people, like good things happen for you. That's not why you should do it.
Right.
But it's just the natural course of like nature. It just comes back to you. It's pretty neat.
I agree. So. I would challenge people sometimes. Go out of your way to do one thing nice today. They're like, oh, I do nice things all the time. And I'm like, no, go out of your just do it. And you'd be surprised how many people are like, oh my gosh, I thought I was always doing something good for somebody.
Yeah.
I thought I was always, and they really weren't. They were just going through life. It's really hard to start doing good things.
Right.
Because you just get used to doing the normal. So when you do that, suppose
it takes people off guard. It catches people off guard.
You're funny. Are you really like this?
Like
I held the door for you.
I was outside at a ice cream place or something. I don't remember. No, it was outside of that other barbecue place, Mississippi Sweets. And there's always a wait. And I was sitting outside with my parents, and I think my brother was there. And there was a couple of elderly couples standing around, and I offered them my seat. And this look of wow, like came over them, and it's actually made me sad. Because it's so out of the norm for people to do those type of considerations for people that it really does come as a shock.
Isn't that sad?
It's very sad.
Woo, so challenge yourself.
Right.
Go out there and do something nice for somebody else, and it will come back around.
It's true. And
don't do it for that reason.
Right.
But you'd be surprised.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to teach that to my son. So like with my son, I never tell him, do this in order to get that. It's always do this because you're to be nice. Do this to be a good person, make them happy. So it's true. So when you're thinking about designing a restaurant, because I'm a big fan of that show Bar Rescue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you're thinking about designing a restaurant or a bar, how much of that bar science that he talks about, how much of that is real? Is that a real thing that you really have to implement?
Unbelievable. An unbelievable amount of that is completely true.
Wow.
I've been telling people about the bar science for years.
Yeah.
And of course, it takes somebody getting on TV for people to actually come back to you.
Right.
And they'll come back to you years later and go, you were absolutely right.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I wasn't really making it up. It's incredible. I mean, one of the original things I would teach with a bartender was a bar napkin, a beverage napkin. Mm-hmm. Was I used to teach them that, this is a drink ticket. Mm-hmm. So I could literally hold this up, show it to you, and go, hey, I'm going to get you a drink. How you doing, buddy? And put it over there, and you're going to walk all the way to the other side of the bar, right where I put that down, because that was your ticket. And that was your drink ticket. You knew you were getting a drink.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny, but it's true.
Right. That's one way to thin out a bar, where if somebody you can't get to the bar, and the other bartender's standing there, and there's nobody in front of him, and he's sitting here. You just kind of you show them where it is.
Right.
It's those little things. It's all part of bar and restaurant is literally 90% science.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's a psychology to it.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You never want to pull all the chairs off of a bar because people relate open spaces to emptiness.
Okay.
So like right now, there's only you and I in here, and there's tons of chairs that are all flipped up on the bar, so it doesn't feel like it's empty.
Right.
But I guarantee you, if I were to pull the seats out right now, you'd be like, wow, this is kind of eerie.
But
right now, you feel comfortable.
That's true. Because it doesn't feel like you're waiting for anybody else to get here.
Right. It feels comfortable.
There are no other open spaces.
I mean, we're doing shots at 10:30 in the morning, but,
I mean, whatever.
That helps. That helps ease the inhibitions. But no, really, it's all science. It's all psychology.
Wow. Wow.
It's understanding people, and people change.
Do you think you could have ever been a 9-to-5 working behind a desk kind of guy?
No. Actually, I was going to school to be a marine biologist.
Oh, I read that?
Yeah. Realized when I finished with school that, I'd been in the bar business my whole life, and or restaurant business. By the time I finished school, I realized that I had more experience in the bar and restaurant and was already making more money than I would have ever made, And I love swimming around in the ocean and looking at fish and algae and stuff like that. Yeah. But, you have to be able to survive in life too. Right. So I found that those are my two passions. And could I ever be, I joke that people like me should never work in an office. Literally.
What would a day be like with you in an office?
Have you ever seen Office, I think it was Office Space, where he's sitting in his cubicle And he's just kind of sitting there, and he pulls out like a saw, and he cuts the walls down his cubicle,
Right.
and he just pushes them all down at once. That would be me. Yeah, that would be me. And I just look around and smile.
That just crossed my mind maybe once or twice.
That would be me. It's interesting because now starting another business and a different business, I've looked at other successful businesses and how they become successful, and it's not. I've learned it's not sitting in an office. It's not working 80 hours a week.
Right.
It's opening your mind. It's enjoying yourself. It's relaxing. It's listening to other people.
Right. How important do you think it is for you personally to do something that you love for a living? Do you think you could, would you have been completely frustrated, or do you think you could have been happy doing something else?
A friend of mine's son just started going to college. And he told his son, he goes, do something you enjoy, because that you're going to be stuck doing that.
Right.
So, find what you enjoy and do that.
Right.
Because, I relate it to service, which sounds funny. Somebody doesn't mind paying more if they're getting great service, but they're not going to pay more if it's crappy service.
Right.
So the same thing. You're going to work harder for something you enjoy.
Right.
You're not going to go home going, why do I have to lick stamps all day?
Right.
You're going
to be thinking about, oh man, how do I lick those stamps better if it's something that you like to do?
Exactly.
What can we do it better?
Right.
Let me organize these differently what can I do to set this up?
Right. You're going to get a super soaker up on the wall.
Right. If you really love to lick stamps, you're not going to be going home thinking, damn.
Yeah, I mean... we have our lives, and it's just as much work as it is play. It's more work than it is play, so might as well do something you like.
Are you surprised how much, well, I guess you've kind of gradually grown up in it, but does it ever still surprise you just how much goes on behind, office type of work goes on to support a nightlife venue?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand. Everybody jokes and they go, it'd be great to be you, and you get to hire all these people and you get to hang out at night. And, the joke with my wife and I is, it's only jokes. I'm not sure, but she, we used to joke that all I do is shake hands, kiss ladies, and buy shots. Yeah. And I go, but you don't see that there's payroll, and there's scheduling, and there's ordering, and then there's
permits and licensing, and
exactly. And there's slips and falls.
Politics of dealing with personalities, and
exactly. Yeah,
both who work for you and who are, your guests.
Exactly. So. Oh yeah, and the paperwork side is just as heavy as the fun side. Right. So, and you got to be able to do both.
Right. So what's the timeline on this new venture?
It looks like February or March. We'll actually have product that'll be ready to go in stores and all that stuff. Where are you having it made? How did you find that? Actually, you have to find a distiller, because they have to physically make the alcohol. Yeah. And ours happens to be in Lake Mary, Florida.
Is that close?
It's in Orlando, right outside of Orlando. Okay. That's another job that somebody has, is they make alcohol for everything. Right. But they do it on big scales. And, there's a whole process involved in that too, which is insane. Right. Do you ever think you'll go to that far on that side and want to really be involved with that? Funny, I've never wanted to be a distiller, but I always wanted. The whole craft beer thing I think is awesome. You can create your own alcohol or your own beer. My friend who's a DJ is thinking about doing that. He's moving today actually to come here. Actually, you'll probably meet him tonight. And he's thinking about doing some craft beer stuff. Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'd love to have a brewery bar. I think it would be fun. Oh, wow. But at the same point, I don't want to just make beer. I'd like to make wine. And, the whole process, I think that's just it's creation. It's like cooking. Right. It's interesting. Do you like to cook? Oh, I love to cook. Really? Love to cook. Yeah. So that job, working as a cook, is that when it started that you realized you liked to cook, or did you? No, actually, my mom's an old Italian woman. Yeah. And she taught me how to cook, and I laugh because there's so many people that don't know how to cook, and you see what I mean? I am not raising my hand right now. And I really learned how to just cook, and That's it. I love it. You know? Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll throw it down every once in a while, but I have to really be in the mood.
Oh, no. I could literally, my mom used to call it bottom drawer cooking. Literally, it'd be opening the bottom drawer of the refrigerator
and just seeing what's there.
What's out of there. And I really can. And I love that part of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You like to create stuff. You like to create liquors or alcohol wines. You like to create food. You like to create bars and businesses.
Yeah.
You like to create. That's awesome.
I guess I never looked at myself as creative.
I think you're very creative.
I never looked at myself as creative.
I think you're very creative.
Interesting.
Do you ever go scuba diving or anything like that to satisfy that side?
I haven't been in a couple years.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a couple years.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. I spent days underwater. I love it.
Wow.
It's just time consuming.
Have you ever been scuba certified?
Oh yeah.
Or did you just do the snorkeling and okay?
Yeah. I did all the crazy stuff.
Wow.
The deep diving, the mixed gas.
That's awesome. Have you ever swum with sharks?
Yeah. I've swum with sharks.
Where have you done that?
Oh, in Florida, Bahamas, everywhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I always wanted to see the whale shark. Never seen one of those.
Yeah.
We're actually planning, my wife and I and some friends, we're planning a trip to Galapagos. It's a place I've always wanted to go.
I'm so jealous. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a place I've wanted to go my entire life.
That's so cool. I want to see the little tortoises there.
Tortoises.
Like, oh my gosh.
Well, the reason why we're actually planning on doing it is they're going to stop allowing people to go to Galapagos because it's been getting too much.
Right, I get
so
it.
They need to get back to, they said within the next 3 or 4 years.
Okay, so note to self.
So go. See, you got to just go, you know?
That's on my short list, bucket list.
But it's something you have to do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be a trip for like 10 or 15 years.
Right.
My wife has all these other plans, trips, but when she found out, she goes,
oh man,
something you've always wanted to do, we need to do it.
That's awesome.
So, we'll see. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast. It's been a lot of fun. Is there anything, I know the Vanilla Ice block party's tonight, is there anything else you want to, this will be going up, if I can get it produced in time, it should be Monday morning. Awesome. Is there anything that you want to promote or plug?
We have a great New Year's Eve coming up, which is going to be phenomenal. We always throw a great party. We have DJ Chris Parker. We have the band Connected. CP. We love him. It's going to be a great New Year's Eve bash, and then it kicks us off to 2015.
That's awesome.
So it should be fun.
That's awesome. All right, cool.
Thank you.
Do you mind signing off the podcast? And all it is you just say, I'm Garett Hagan with Curve the Cube.
Absolutely. I'm Garett Hagan with Curve the Cube.
Yay!
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Boom.
I have a guest book. Would you mind signing?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you.
Were those chocolates for me? I forgot about them.
Yeah, those are yours.
Oh, thank you. You're the bestest. Yeah, I got this right after I did the podcast with Jake Cashmere.
That's a great idea.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to be filling it up and auctioning it off for charity at some point. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Thank you so much for signing. Yay!
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
I'm proud of you. It's awesome. Seriously, what you're doing is really an awesome. Really an awesome thing. Keep it going.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'll see you tonight.
Yay! It's gonna be fun times. I think I'm just gonna stay in the area and leave my car where it is. Do you know if the all that parallel parking up there is like?
Yeah, they'll tell you all that stuff. They're pretty hard about that.
Really?
I just park right here in the garage.
Okay.
Pretty easy.
Is it free?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's for free, it's for me. That's my setting.
All right. Oh, it's on hold. I can't turn it off now.
You have successfully curved the cube.